Hey folks, WoRM here. I am the worst of rock and metal, and you may wonder, as I try to get comfortable and I slam around here in my little office, how does one become the worst of rock and metal? Well, there's a journey involved. It doesn't involve too awfully much training or assistance or practice, but we do our best. So let's get this thing rocking here, shall we? So the early years. I was born in the 1960s. I am old. I was the youngest of three boys, my poor parents, and my eldest brother, he had an awesome rock and roll and prog record collection. So my earliest recollections I can remember is my dad was a big Johnny Cash fan, the old Folsom Prison Blues, Live from Folsom Prison, whatever it was. My brother, huge Beatles fan, Paul McCartney and Wings thereafter. He was a big Zappa fan, and a big Zeppelin fan, and a big Rush fan. Not a big Kiss fan, but I remember seeing Kiss as a kid, a picture, hearing music, and thinking to myself, that is what I want to do for a living. I want to be a rock star. You know, folks want to be a fireman or a policeman or a cowboy or something when they're kids. The WoRM wanted to be a rock star after seeing Kiss and just, larger than life. That's what they were. So my first records I remember getting as a kid was Rush Hemispheres. That's side B with Circumstances, The Trees, and La Villa Strangiato. Perfect. Kiss Destroyer, Kiss Alive, and Kiss Alive 2. As a kid, same eldest brother refused to get me a Kiss record for Christmas because he hated them. He bought me Foreigner Double Vision. Good record. The thing that clicked for me, that made metal what I want to listen to, what I want to aspire to play, was Paranoid by Black Sabbath and British Steel by Judas Priest. Of course, Sabbath record, I think, came out in 70. Priest, maybe 1980. That puts me still in single-digit numbers, just breaking that 10-year-old barrier. But I heard these things, and I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to listen to. So we'll do a little yearly progression here. 1981, a buddy of mine, he had the Iron Maiden Killers and self-titled records. Just by the artwork alone, I knew they're going to be amazing. And Iron Maiden Killers still remains my favorite Iron Maiden record to date. 81, I remember Triumph, Allied Forces, that record came out. I still have the vinyl from back then. It's all beat to hell, and I loved it. I still love it. It's a great record. And Moving Pictures by Rush came out, with Tom Sawyer, Limelight, all those classics. It's a big change from Rush with the prog crazy days with 2112 and Farewell to King, Xanadu, the Cygnus on the first side of the Hemispheres record, but man, they really knocked it out of the park on that one. And at this time, I was getting my fill of the Ozzy-fronted Sabbath records. Really just flawless up to, even the Technical Ecstasy and Never Say Die. I mean, they're Sabbath. They're still good records. Not as good as the six before them, but they're still awesome, awesome records. 1982. Man, this is when the dam broke right here. I remember shoveling snow so I could make money to buy Number of the Beast. Iron Maiden. I got it home, and I was disappointed. A little bit, not going to lie. I was a huge fan of the first two Maiden records, and I love Di'Anno's voice, so when I heard the Number of the Beast, it kind of threw me a bit. I wasn't expecting Bruce, but Maiden never would have climbed to the heights they had without Bruce. And you know what? Number to Be still classic. It's still an amazing record. Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. Electric Eye, amazing song. I love it so much. So great. Scorpions, Blackout came out that year. Great record. Van Halen, Diver Down. I bought this when it came out. And I still think that electric guitars, but the little intro is so good. Was it The Warning or something like that? Oh, great stuff. Black Sabbath released Live Evil. I mean, I was young at this point, and I still only Sabbath I knew had Ozzy in it. And I heard this with Dio. I was like, whoa, what is this? So I ran out and had to pick up Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, just great records with Ronnie at the helm there after Ozzy left. I remember I bought the Rods Wild Dogs just based on the artwork alone, where it had the Cerberus with the three heads. Blue Oyster Cult Extraterrestrial Live came out. Anvil, Metal on Metal. Ozzy, Speak of the Devil. I saw Ozzy on this tour. I think Vandenberg opened up for him. Ozzy had the big old shaved head, and I think at this point he already had Jake playing guitar. That was a long time ago. It's hard to remember. 1982, great year for metal. 1983, this is, man, Iron Maiden put out Peace of Mind. What an incredible record. Saxon, Power and Glory, made me run out and buy Strong Arm of the Law. Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. I mean, if you look at the records on this list, this is, metal, rock and roll, whatever you want to call it. It was all still kind of centralized. It hadn't broken out into different genres yet. Ozzy, Bark at the Moon. Black Sabbath, Born Again with Ian Gillan. A lot of folks don't like it. I love this record. I think it's great. Crocus, Headhunter. Dio's first solo record, Holy Diver. Grim Reaper, See You in Hell. They actually play See You in Hell on my local, FM rock and roll station. Very cool. And Suicidal Tendencies, their self-titled record with everyone's favorite, I Saw Your Mommy. Holy cow, was that a good record at the time. Still a good record today. 1984, I mean, it just keeps coming. It's amazing. Iron Maiden, Power Slave. What a great record. I saw Maiden at the Radio City Music Hall in New York City on this tour. Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith. I saw them at the Meadowlands in New Jersey on this tour. Dio, Last in Line. I saw them in Poughkeepsie at the Civic Center. Metallica, Ride the Lightning. This one really blew me away when it came out. Still an amazing record. I actually saw them on this tour with Wasp and Armored Saint. And the next one right there, Wasp, their self-titled record. It was great. Metal Church, their self-titled, amazing. Deep Purple, they got Ian Gillan back. They stole him from Black Sabbath doing one record. Perfect Strangers with Mr. Blackmore guitar. Just amazing stuff. Whitesnake, Slide It In. Scorpions, Love at First Sting. Motorhead, I got Remorse. Or I got No Remorse that year for Christmas, I think. It was just a greatest hits record, and it had, I think, 4 new songs on it. It's flawless. I still listen to that one to this day. It's amazing record. 1984, I learned to play guitar. I started learning to play guitar. It was really bad then, if you think I'm bad now. And the first riff I learned was Electric Funeral by Black Sabbath. It was not Smoke on the Water. It was Electric Funeral by Black Sabbath. The intro riff and the first riff with the Ozzy singing. 1985. Things start getting a little heavier. I bought Hell Awaits and Merciful Fate, Don't Break the Oath the same day. I got them home and I was like, whoa, what is this? Just amazing. I remember seeing pictures of Slayer in magazines, but I never heard of it before. Picked this up and loved it immediately. So I went out and I bought Show No Mercy, Haunting the Chapel, and Live Undead. Exciter, Long Live the Loud. What's a Sudden Impact? I love that song on this record. Anthrax, Spreading the Disease, Fistful of... Well, first I bought Spreading the Disease. Then I went and got the Fistful of Metal. Possessed, Seven Churches. What was The Exorcist? That was the first song. That one's great. Then I remember I was at the record store and I saw this one, Megadeth. Killing is my business and business is good. And it had a little sticker on the front, said featuring ex-Metallica guitarist Dave Mustaine. So it was a definite purchase. Got it home, listened to it, loved it. They got to the mechanics and it blew my mind. I was like, holy cow, this is the Four Horsemen. Only on speed, and it was. I heard Venom. And I bought Welcome to Hell and Black Metal. Amazing records. Iron Maiden released Live After Death. And I started hearing some more non-metal-y, kind of hardcore-y crossover stuff. DRI, Dealing With It. And the Stormtroopers of Death. SOD, Speak English or Die. Holy cow. That was a monumental record. 1985. This is when I started getting some disappointments in the metal land. Motley Crue, Theater of Pain. Holy cow. They went from the Too Fast for Love, Too Fast for Love, is that what it was? And then the Shout the Devil to This Stinker. This is the birth of hair metal. I hated it. Dio, Sacred Heart. After those first two records, this one didn't do anything for me. And Saxon, Innocence is No Excuse. If no excuse, typo there. But yeah, they started going a little heavier for me, and these were, to me, a little step back. 1986. I think actually in 85, or was it 86? I think it was 86. I finally got to see it. Was the this is not on the slide. Was the Ultimate Revenge with Slayer, Exodus, and Venom. What an amazing VHS tape at the time. It really just summed up the greatness that was metal. But 86, probably the best metal ever released here. Slayer, Rain in Blood. It was like a 30-minute record, just start to finish, no stinkers, just heavy, fast, and awesome. I saw him 3 times on this tour. I saw him twice with Dave Lombardo and once with was it Vinny Caglione? I forget, the dude from Whiplash on drums. Metallica, Master of Puppets. I saw him twice on this tour. I actually saw him open up for Ozzy on the what was that stinker? Ultimate Sin he put out. And I got to meet Cliff Burton. I got to shake his hand, and I got his autograph. Megadeth, Peace Sells, Dark Angel, Darkness Descends, Nuclear Assault, Game Over, Sacrifice, Torment and Fire. And then we got these two kind of crossover records. Agnostic Front, Cause for Alarm, and Crumbsuckers, Life of Dreams. That Crumbsuckers record is still one of my favorites to this day. It's really just an amazing record. 86, I joined a band. Prime Evil. I was playing bass, my buddy Alex on drums. We played gigs. We had a blast. Went to tons of concerts. We just had a great time with that band. They're still together today, and they're still releasing music, and I think they're still doing shows. So, awesome to you guys. 86, Disappointments. Holy cow. Judas Priest, Turbo. What an incredible stinker. Oh my goodness. Turbo Lover. Just, it breaks the heart. Iron Maiden, Somewhere in Time. I know the folks are going to kill me on this one, but I put these two records in the same boat. They are just the let's make a weaker version to appeal to more people. King Diamond, Fatal Portrait. I was so excited for this record. I actually saw them at L'Amour's in Brooklyn on this tour with Megadeth. It just wasn't the same as Merciful Fate. No offense to the King, but it just didn't do anything for me. Ozzy, The Ultimate Sin. Holy cow! I called this his glam years. He looked like I can't think of her name, Liza Minnelli or something. He looked horrible. I did not like this record. And Sabbath put out 7th Star. Actually saw them on this tour. One of the few shows where they actually had who's the dude singing? Glenn Hughes singing. I think he made like two shows before they fired him. I saw him at the Meadowlands with Wasp and Anthrax. It was terrible. Sorry, Tony. You're my favorite guitar player, but man, it's just not a highlight of your career. 1987, Motorhead, Rock and Roll. It remains my favorite Motorhead release to this day. I saw him on that tour with Manowar at the Ritz in New York City. Man, Motorhead, Rock and Roll, great record. DRI put out Crossover with the 5-year plan. That was a cool record. I liked it a lot. Destruction, Release from Agony. I love this record. Folks don't like the production. I think it's amazing. It was the first time I recognized hearing a sweet picked arpeggio. I couldn't figure out what the hell they were doing. I had one of my buddies show me, and I was like, holy cow, that's hard. No, people just do it with forms and shapes, but at the time, it was amazing. Voivod, Killing Technology. I know they had War and Pain and Roar out, but this is the one that really, they came into form. My buddy Rich, a drummer I knew, really, we sat down and he kind of picked this apart and showed me the greatness that was Voivod. And this is an amazing record. Anthrax, Amont, man, I can't type. Among the Living. I love this record too. Then we got these other two, DBC, Dead Brain Cells. I think they're a Canadian band. Man, this record, their debut was amazing. And then Carnivore put out Retaliation. The first record, kind of goofy. This record is brutal, heavy, and awesome. Listening to it, I can only imagine how loud Pete Steele's bass was in the studio, like all the feedback and stuff. But it was just a crushing, great record. I formed a new band, Demoniac. I was playing guitar. I shared the singing duties of the bass player, and actually went into the studio. For the first time ever, we did a Electric Reels studio somewhere in Dutchess County, New York. We did our Bludgeon demo. Very cool. The first time in the studio, a lot of fun. 1988. Not a lot to post here, but Voivod put out Dimension Hatros. Metallica put out Injustic for All. Man, I can't type. And I got introduced to Death with Leprosy and Pull the Plug. Man, great records. Slayer disappoints, South of Heaven. Iron Maiden continues to disappoint with Seventh Son. Man, I was so excited to get to South of Heaven, and I was like, whoa, what is this? This is not Rain and Blood. They purposely did not make Run in Blood Part 2. To me, I look at this as them kind of dumbing it down a bit and making it a little more accessible. So, didn't like it. I can listen to it now. It's not horrible. Back then, it made me angry. 1989. This is probably why I didn't like South of Heaven, because death metal reigns supreme. Morbid Angel, Altars of Madness. What an incredible record. It is just an amazing. It's timeless. I like listening to it today. Amazing record. Sepultura, Beneath the Remains, Pestilence, Consuming Impulse, Obituary, Slowly We Rot, and Autopsy, Severed Survival. I mean, this is just a year full of classics right here. Great stuff. 1990, Judas Priest puts out Painkiller. They're back. I have a kind of funny story about this one. I was at a club somewhere in Long Island. I can never remember what it was. And actually, Death was playing that night. And I have friends who were friends with the guys in Death, so I was hanging out with them. And Terry gave the DJ at the club Painkiller. It wasn't released yet. And that drums just opened up, and he goes to me, you know who this is? I go, nah. He goes, this is Judas Priest. I'm like, sure it is. This isn't Judas Priest. Holland can't play this. And sure enough, when I came into the song, Judas Priest, they're back. Man, what a great record. Exorder, Slaughter in the Vatican, Entombed, Left Hand Path, Death, Spiritual Healing. I know a lot of folks didn't like Spiritual Healing. I think it's a great record. It was Chuck and the Boys, going back to their early metal likings. Obituary, Cause of Death, another great one. And Cannibal Corpse, Eaten Back to Life. I actually saw Cannibal Corpse with my buddy's band Primeval play before this record came out at somewhere in Buffalo, New York. Really, really good stuff. And good stuff. Death metal, 90s. It's when it was kicking ass. My disappointments that year: Megadeth, Rust in Peace. Here's another one. People love it. I came out, I hated it. All these major happy chords, and it just sounded just so happy compared to everything else that was coming out. And I gave Slayer another chance. Seasons in the Abyss, didn't like it. Once again, less Slayer-y, Slayer, more accessible to the masses. Sorry guys. I still love those first few records. 1990, formed a new band, Morpheus. Met Rob and Ken, and we joined up with me, Sam, and Craig. We were in a different band at the time, and we formed Morpheus. Halloween Day, our first practice, 1990. Man, what a great band. They're still rocking today. I had a lot of fun with these guys. 91, it's still death metal, reigning supreme. Atheist, Suffocation, Cannibal Corpse, Sepultura, Malevolent Creation, Unleashed, Asphyx, Immolation, Morbid Angel, and Death put out Human. At this time, Morpheus, we were hanging out with a lot of these New York-based bands. A lot of them were getting signed to Roadrunner, Road Racer, and we did not, such is life. But these bands, they're still putting out records today. They really flown the flag the entire time. You know, my hat off to you. You guys are awesome. And I got to play a lot of gigs with a lot of these bands and just had lots of good time partying and having a blast. 1991, Morpheus hits the studio. We recorded our first demo tape at Legends Studios in Long Island. Accelerated Decrepitude. There's that dude. He's not having a good day. He's aging way too fast. And, what was it? 5 songs. Trephination, Accelerated Decrepitude, Triformed Limbs, Stigmatic Crucifixion, and Residual Kill. All happy, happy songs. I think they still do Trephination live. It's a great song. Had a great time making this. Great songs with these guys. Very cool. 1991. Disappointment. Probably the biggest disappointment of metal of all time. Metallica put out their self-titled record. And what was that? Off the Never Neverland song there was the single. It broke all our hearts. It really did. So I put this record, Somewhere in Time, South of Heaven, and Rust in Peace in one bucket of let's make our music watered down, happier, and available to the masses. Such is life. 92, things changed a little bit here. White Zombie. The Black Sabbath got Dio back. They put out Dehumanizer. Great record. I love the song. Alice in Chains put out Dirt. Ministry, Psalm 69. And Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power. Not a death metal band in the list at all that year. But my death metal band, or death metal band I was in at the time, we did great. We did another demo, Corpse Under Glass, with our new singer, Reamer. Man, I can't think today. We actually had it put out Adipocere, 7-inch single released through Seraphic Decay Records. We got signed to JL America. We had to change our name to Morpheus Descends. I guess there was some other Morpheus dude running around. And we released Ritual of Infinity, our debut CD. It was a great year for Morpheus Descends. 93, I left Morpheus Descends. I kind of lost interest in music. They were real cool about it. They got new guys. They replaced me. They did awesome because they were a great band. I just kind of lost heart. Wasn't into it anymore. These things happen. 94 to 99 wasn't great years for metal for me, but these are ones that I remember really liking. Corrosion Conformity put out Deliverance with Albatross on it. America's Volume Dealer. I love that record. Bruce left Maiden and put out Accident of Birth and Chemical Wedding. 2 just great, amazing records. I wish they would get Roy Z to produce an Iron Maiden record. It would sound amazing. Halford, Resurrection. Man, that was such a great record when it came out. He put out Fight before that too, which I liked. But Resurrection was a lot better. You get to the 2000s. Bruce comes back to Iron Maiden. They put out Brave New World. Halford comes back to Judas Priest. They put out Angel of Retribution. I saw them both on those tours. Had a great time. They were awesome. King Diamond put out Puppet Master. I don't know, for whatever reason, me not getting King Diamond prior to, but Love and Merciful Fate, I like that record a lot. Motorhead put out Inferno. Holy cow, is this just an amazing, amazing record. And then I learned about these next 2 bands, The Lord Weird Slothfeg and Clutch. I mean, Slothfeg, they put out Twilight of the Idols, Traveler, the one with the monkey on it there. Every record they put out I love. I think they're an amazing band. Clutch, everything from the Blast Tyrant and newer, amazing. I love them. Jag Panzer, Casting the Stones. A little late to that party, but man, good stuff. I started playing guitar again. I've always been a fan of the Dean guitars since I saw them when I was younger. The Flying V with Rick Emmett. And this was the age of the Internet Forum group. I joined the Dean Owners of America, and I went to Tampa, Florida. Like every year for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, they had a party for us. Dean Zielinski was on as a... he sold the company back in the 80s, but he was on as just a person, a collaborator. But Elliot Rubinson, he owned Dean Guitars. He's since passed, rest in peace, Elliot, really cool dude. And he would throw us a party at the K-Poc in St. Pete, and we would jam. I jammed songs with folks from all over the world. I mean, I did 2112 from Rush without ever practicing it. I did, Electric Eye. We did Aces High, Jailbreak. Did AC/DC songs. Just, it was really cool getting up there and jamming with folks that you never met. Oh, you've met them, but you never jammed with them. You never practiced a song. Sometimes they came out really good. Sometimes they did not come out really good. But it had a blast. So that was really cool that Elliot used to throw these parties for us. 2005, I joined a new band. I answered man, it wasn't in the newspaper. It was on the internet somewhere, looking for a lead guitarist. Stone Devil Hill. Really cool band. It was just a regular heavy metal kind of band. It wasn't like a thrash or a death metal band. We actually went into the studio. We put out another CD. So it's cool. Got to record some new music in the 2000s. For the Fallen. We put it out in 2007. Really cool record. Had a lot of good times with these guys. 2010 to 2020, I listened to lots of classic metal. Listened to lots of classic rock. And I got to listen to and enjoy some blues. Rory Gallagher, one of my top 5 favorite guitarists ever. Zappa and Sabbath, they remain my 2 favorites throughout all the years. And Slow Fag and Clutch, and the different variations thereof, and side bands, they remain my favorite of the newer bands. Because I'm old and cranky, us old people don't like new things. But those 2 bands, even though they've probably been around for 20 years, I think they're awesome. In 2021, I decided to make my little Worst of Rock and Metal come to live and do some goofy stuff on the internet here. I have like all of 5 people that watch these things, but it gives me something to do. It gives me a good reason to buy more guitars and buy more toys to play in the recording game with. So I've been writing lots of songs, enjoying the recording process. I always enjoyed it in the past. I failed to put in there somewhere like around 2000 or so. My buddy Mike and we did the Help Desk Hell Stars, where we would do kind of Weird Owlish covers of rock and metal songs, and mostly making it about drinking and stupid stuff. So that was the Help Desk Hell Stars. But right now, I am the WoRM. I am the worst of rock and metal. I do thank you for going through a little half-hour journey with me here, or however long this thing is, I can't see. But on the WoRM, go out there, make music, record it, share it. You may bring some joy to others. And I'm the WoRM. WoRM out.